Hey everyone, I'm Leslie. Welcome to my channel, Books, Gurrs, and Purrs. Today I'm going to be talking about Saga Volume 3. So this is written by Brian K. Vaughan, who's also written the comic book series Y the Last Man and I think it's Paper Girls? Yeah, Paper Girls. Marco, Alana, Hazel, and Clara are still on the run. At the end of Volume 2, they're on the search for the author Oswald, who wrote the novel that functions as like a trash romance, but really it's a way to talk about pacifism, and that idea of pacifism basically plants a seed into Alana and Marco at the very beginning of the series. So in this volume, they do find Oswald, and their time with Oswald is actually this unintended moment of respite from the war and the fact that they're fugitives on the run. Marco and Alana are faced with discussing and planning the future for the three of them, for Hazel, because they are fugitives on the run, and how do they create a sense of normalcy in this world while trying to raise their daughter. Marco and Alana are definitely in a part of their relationship where they now have to dig deeper and just become more vulnerable in order to figure out what to do with their lives. In this particular volume, my favorite dynamic is actually Clara and Oswald. Clara is Marco's mother, so she's the grandmother of Hazel, and she's just recently still grieving the loss of her husband. Oswald is a character who's had lost plenty of people in his own life, and their dynamic is so funny and just great to enjoy, because these are two people that have polar opposite ideologies in a way. They're both people that are willing to challenge each other and have tough conversations. They really enjoy each other's company, and I love anytime I pick up a book and there's a tangible book lover interwoven into the narrative, and I very much feel that with Oswald since he's a writer. Clara and Oswald are two people that lost loved ones directly or indirectly due to the perpetual war that the planets are in, and I feel like that is a discussion that they have together, but that's really what is a discussion in some form in every volume of the series, and I really appreciate those discussions. The Will and Gwendolyn have to face their changing dynamic, and what are they really trying to accomplish? What do they really want from what they originally set out to do while they're on this journey? What I really loved about Will and Gwendolyn's story is that them together, the Will faces the fact that he has to give Sophie a name, formerly Slave Girl, and I really appreciate that the author sprinkles in stories about Sophie and how she feels about herself. She's just a little kid that was human trafficked and forced to do terrible things on the planet of Sextillion, and so I just appreciate that the Will gave her a name, and I feel like that helps to have her create her own identity and also divorce her from all the terrible things that she's been through. Similarly, Isabel, who's the ghost girl slash babysitter of Hazel, definitely functions in a similar way as Sophie in Marco and Alana's life. I feel like she provides a little bit of comedy relief, but she's always a figure in their lives that's a reminder of the human casualty of war, early on, I want to say in the first volume. She's also very much a symbol of the devastation that happens to a planet, but I guess that could also be considered different countries in our world that are really devastated by a war. Every time Brian K. Vaughan brings in new characters, I find new narratives for me to be attached to. And for this volume, it's Upshire and Goff, who are the reporters. They're freelance reporters. And through their narrative, you get to see a discussion between what is a function of a reporter during war-torn planets, and what is propaganda. How are reporters treated in a war zone? What are you willing to do for that truth? How much of yourself are you willing to put at a cost? Is your life worth the story? And a little funny idea I had when I was reading this comic is that Upshire reminds me of Anderson Cooper, but I don't know if anyone else feels that way or if that's ever come up. Once again, I've really enjoyed this comic. This is a reread for me. I'm just trying to maybe keep more of a keen eye for all the little details, and again, I just love it. I'm always going to recommend it. Anytime I do a review, it's going to be me loving this story. Brian K. Vaughan does this thing where he'll bring in characters, and within the same volume, he'll kill off new characters that you've just found yourself being so attached to and loving, and he does that really well. So he just has a knack for character development that I'm really in awe of. So if you haven't read this, pick it up. All right, everyone, if you like that review, please like, subscribe, comment below, and I guess I'll see you later.